What's up, guys? Just here back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a review for Aew Dynamite. So let's get to it then. Sorry, MGF kicks off the show and stuff with the promo segment, and here we go. So we then hear the familiar sounds of the theme song for MJF. Out comes the AEW American Champion. He sells in the ring and talks trash about how stupid people in the South are. He calls South Carolina the trailer park trash capital of the world. MJF tells the crowd to do their meth addicted selves a favor and keep their mouth shut. He then gloats about defeating with ease that Redcoat Will Ospreay and bringing in gold back to our great nation of the U.S. He vows to beat him again at Wembley Stadium at All In. He tells the crowd to stand and rise for their American hero. He raises the towel up in the air, but the theme for Will Ospreay hits, and the aerial assassin charges down to the ring. MJF runs away. Ospreay gets on the mic and tells MJF to keep running. He vows to make him pay for talking about his family last week. He says he loves his country's flag the same way these people love theirs. He talks about MJF's American Championship being a fraud title that no one is acknowledging. He takes him to task for throwing the International Championship in the trash last week. MJF asks the crowd if they like Ospreay. They pop. He calls the crowd turncoats. He says he's gonna beat him down in front of all of his crooked teeth countrymen in England at All In. He tells him after what happens to him tonight, he won't make it to Wembley, bruv. He says tonight everybody dies. We all know who that's from. Alright, first match, here we go. The Murdoch Monster, Lance Archer versus Will Ospreay. Theme for the Murdoch Monster, Lance Archer hits outcomes as MJF throws his hands up in a sign of peace and sidesteps him as a crazed big man heads to the ring for a scheduled opening contest. He and Ospreay go face to face, or face to chest rather, and Archer immediately Donkey Kongs him and to the mat as a bell sounds to get this one started. He follows up with some big splashes in the corner. Ospreay shifts the momentum in his favor with a big corkscrew kick. Ospreay goes for a wild dive to the floor, but Archer catches him on the way down. He scoops him up and slams him into the unforgiving floor at ringside. He walks over to the camera and says it's time to even the score. He taunts the crowd as Ospreay struggles to get up. We head to a mid-match commercial break on that note. When return, Archer is in a comfortable offensive lead until Ospreay connects with an insane super Spanish fly off the top rope for close to a count. Ospreay hits an Oz cutter, but again gets to. He goes for a hidden blade, but is run over by a lariat from Archer. Archer looks for his blackout finisher, but Ospreay counters with a DDT and follows up with a hidden blade. Then that hits this time. He goes for the cover, but Archer somehow kicks out at the count of one. Ospreay takes the elbow pad off and hits another hidden blade and gets the 3 count for the win. After the match, MJ runs in and attacks Ospreay from behind. He lays him out and then hits a brainbuster, and he slides on the diamond ring. Before he can use it, Kyle Fletcher runs out to make the save. All right, so here's another one. MJF stands at the top of the ramp as Kyle Fletcher gets on the mic. He tells Don Callis that he knows he told him not to get into Will Ospreay business because it is no longer Don Callis' family business. He says that doesn't change the fact that Ospreay is his best friend, and he's laying on the ground in a heap because of the selfish MJF. He talks about wrestling his couch pillows as a kid and dreaming of moving to the U.S. because this is where the best wrestler wrestle. He says this country has given him his dream girl, house, and job, and he'll forever be grateful for that. He says he speaks for all of Australia, the UK, and everyone in here when he says we're all sick of the same MJF crap. He tells MJF to come here so he can punch his face a few more times. MJF says, "You want me right now?" He drops the mic and keeps yelling as he takes his shirt off and picks the mic back up and says, "No." He tells Fletcher he doesn't call the shots around here. He does. He says no one punches an American hero in the face and gets away with it. He tells him he and Fletcher one-on-one is official for next week. He tells him he's gonna kangaroo kick his face off, and he vows he will make him suffer the same fate that the dirtbag Daniel Garcia did, breaking his neck and leaving him in a pool of his own blood. He says when that happens, he'll have only one person to blame, and that's Will Ospreay. He says he can't wait to see Ospreay's face when that happens. and for that you can thank me later. He drops a mic and an American patriotic music plays back in the ring. Fletcher helps Osprey up, and the two pose together for a pop as Don Callis looks at them from across the ring. That things wrap up on that note and stuff. Alright, second match is CMLL Women's World Championship eliminator Willow Nightingale, who's a champion, versus Chris Statlander. When we return from the break, after the post-match segment, we see Alex Marvez with Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. They congratulate him on 102 days as FTW champion. They give him a cake. Jericho vows to break Kazori Shibata's face. Keith tells Shibata it'll be them going one-on-one next week on Aew Dynamite. Inside the arena, Soki Hathaway introduces Chris Statler, who makes her way down to the ring for our next match of the evening. The theme for her opponent, CMLL Women's World Champion Will Nightingale, hits out. Out she comes for this title eliminator bout. Statler attacks Nightingale before the bell sounds. She hits a big top rope drop kick, and then the bell sounds to give Statlander a big offensive lead to start things off. She slams her back first into the barricade and heads into the ring to taunt her in the crowd as we head to a mid-match commercial break. Alright. As we settle back in from the break, we see Statlander dominate the action until Nightingale fights back and hits a big suplex on the hard part of the ring apron. She grabs Stokely on the floor and holds him, but turns around and walks into a clothesline from Statlander. Back in the ring, Stokely passes her a chain and ties up the ref while she knocks out Will with it and gets a victory. After the match, she grabs a chair and beats down Nightingale. A security guard runs out and she starts beating his ass too. She and Stokely have to walk away proud of themselves, guaranteed a future CMLL women's title bout. So winner and number one contender for CMLL Women's World Championship, Chris Statlander. Alright, we have a segment, promo segment on the ring, which Bryan Danielson talks about his career, his all-in match and career. We see a clip from Bryan Danielson and Renee Paquette's sit-down discussion from last week's show, which featured Jeff Jarrett interrupting the interview for a heartfelt message to the American Dream. We then head to a commercial break. The show returns. We hear the familiar sounds of the theme song of the Blackpool Combat Club members. He makes his way out as Excalibur promotes his title opportunity against AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland at AEW All In 2024 at Wembley Stadium in London in a few weeks. Tony Schiavone talks about this being his last full-time year in the business. Danielson talks about being in Greenville tonight and the significance, whatever, of the place to him, as it were he and his wife Bree took their photos for their marriage. He says it's true when they say you don't realize you're living the good old days until they are already behind you. You don't know you're in the good old days until they're almost gone. He says. He says. What's different about that for him is since he returned from his forced retirement due to injury, he has been aware that he's in a good old days and he's been present in every moment and enjoying every bit of it. Alright, Danielson mentions how he promised his daughter when she was 7 years old he would stop wrestling full time. He promised his family that his AEW contract is the last contract he'll ever sign. He says that contract ends tomorrow, August 1st, which is tomorrow. He says he promised himself every time he steps into the ring, he would give every single bit that he has. He said he made two promises. When he got here to kick a lot of people's heads and win the AEW World Championship, he says he's kicked a lot of people's heads in, but he hasn't won the AEW World Championship yet. Promises he's going to give every single thing he's got at All In. He says with his body and his mind and his soul will go all in. He will go all in. Alright, as he keeps talking, he is caught up by the familiar sounds of the entrance tune of the AEW World Champion. Out comes Swerve Strickland, accompanied by Prince Nana, who does his always entertaining goofy ass swerve dance. He sells in the ring, and he and Danielson stare each other down. Prince Nana leads fans in fans in a whose house? Swerve's house chant. Danielson smiles and leads fans in a yes, yes, yes chant. Swerve says he respects Danielson. He inspired people to go out and achieve their dreams, himself included. He says if this were any other time, he'd be rooting for him to win the title and have his moment. He says, but this is Swerve's time. He says he promised he would win the title when he came to AW2, but he did it. hmm He says he's on a different level and tells Danielson he kicked everyone's head in, but couldn't handle it when they started kicking back. Swerve tells Danielson that this is not an achievement award he has on his shoulder. It's the AEW World Championship, and it shows everyone that you're the best. He gets in his face and tells him he is the best. Sorry, he says Danielson challenged Will Ospreay and lost and actually got hurt. He says Ospreay challenged him and he beat him. He says Danielson led Team AEW to a loss at Blood and Guts, whereas he led them to victory. Swerve vows to win at All In, and Danielson not only will lose, he will lose. He may never walk again. Danielson says he'll up the ante. He says if he doesn't beat him and win the AEW World Championship at All In, he will never wrestle again. Your title versus my career at All In. Swerve, what do you say? Come on. Alright. Swerve shakes his hand and says it's noble of him, but tells him not to keep that promise with him. Keep it with his family. Danielson goes backstage where Jeff Jarrett applauds him and is excited until Danielson knocks something out of his hand. He says he wanted him to go all in next week. It will be Danielson versus Jarrett. Alright, next match is Conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, Brent Briscoe, and Tomohishi versus Roger Strong, The Beast, Mortals, and Rouge. The team Roger Strong, The Beast, Mortals, and Rouge make their way out to the ring for our next match of the evening. After they settle inside the square circle, the Conglomeration team of Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, and Tomohishi make their way out. The trio's bout gets off to a hot start as Briscoe goes right to work on Rouge. The fight continues with Ishii and Mortals in the ring as Don Callis sells on a special guest commentary for this one. Briscoe hits another big dive onto a chair on the floor as we sell into mid-match commercial break. When we return, we see some more back forward action. Briscoe hot tags in and hits a froggy bow. Wow, I don't know how they say it. Some other redneck kung fu. Until he is beat down by all three members of the opposition and finished off by the Beast Mortals for the pinfall. The heel trio pick up the impressive win. So winners Roger Strong, the Beast Mortals, and Rouge. Alright, the Acclaim backstage. Backstage we hear from the Acclaim who talk trash about FTR not showing up tonight for their own town. After talking so much trash about them, Max Caster calls himself the best wrestler and the Blood and Guts MVP and says he's not just a guy who makes raps. And Anthony Bowens tells them it's time to nut up or shut up, informs FTR they're coming for them at AEW Collision this week. After the quick backstage promo segment wraps up, we shift gears into another commercial break. Our next match is Camille versus Brittany Jade. Alright, we shoot to a quick sit-down interview with Nate Burkett and the Glamour Mariah May, the latter of whom is interesting and say much. She goes about attacking Thomas Tony Storm. She tells Burkett she isn't taking any more questions. Back inside the arena, Tony Storm comes out in her woman's scorn attire with the shoe and her title. She talks about it being a violent war at All In. She seems to be done with the shoe, by the way. After this wraps up, we see footage of Mercedes Moné Britt Baker's incident at San Diego Comic-Con. We see footage of Camille's debut last week. The theme for Mercedes Moné hits, and now she comes with Camille. Already in the ring is her opponent for tonight's Brittany Jade. The bell sounds, official offer running with this one. Camille beats her down with seconds for the squash match victory. Moné gets on the mic after it welcomes Camille as a brick house and the newest addition to the Monet Corporation. She talks about being a victim of Britt Baker for weeks now. I'm sorry. We head to a commercial after this wraps up. So winner is Camille. Alright, main event coming up is Heyman Page versus Darby Allin. Main event time. When we return from the break, the theme for Heyman Page, Adam Page hits. Out comes our final match of the evening. He sells into the ring, some boos from the Greenville crowd, and then his music dies down. From there, we hear the familiar sounds of one of the pillars of AEW's theme as Darby Allin makes his way out for the first time. One-on-one showing between these two on AEW's weekly flagship prime time Wednesday night program. The bell sounds official are running with this one. We see Heyman Page. Heyman started off strong, but Darby quickly takes over. The action spills out to the floor where Allen hits a top rope coffin drop to Heyman at ringside. Heyman and Darby continue to brawl up the top of the stage. Darby lays out Heyman and climbs way up to the top of the part of the set. The entrance tunnels. He dies off backwards. With another huge coffin drop on the ramp. On that note, we shift and head to another mid-match commercial break as our main event continues. When we return, we see Heyman in full control of fans, which is back inside the arena. After some more bang for action, we see all the lights in the building go out except for the LED strips with the Dynamite logo. Is clearly not someone making a surprise appearance. I don't know. Something must have happened. I don't know. Instead, it's a bad production issue at almost the worst possible time. The commentators try and cover for it, and after a minute or so, thankfully the lights come back on. Heyman continues to beat down Darby in one-sided fashion using the steel ring steps on the floor as a weapon in the process. After he ragdolls him into the steps, the referee steps in to look at Darby. On that note, we head to an all-time additional mid-match commercial break. As we settle from the final commercial break of the evening, we see Heyman with Darby on the middle rope. He hits a huge super fallaway splash to the ring to continue. Fallaway slam to continue to add to the punishment that Darby's back has taken in this match. Heyman looked to try and hit pile driver to Darby on the steel ring steps from the ring apron, but Darby escaped. Darby sweeps Heyman's legs and crashes onto the steel step. He gouges at Heyman's eyes as he starts to come back to life. Darby re-enters the ring, runs the ropes, and dives through them for a flying battering ram to send Heyman flipping backwards off the ring steps. And fans break out in a loud "This is awesome" chant as both guys recover on the floor. Back in the ring, Darby takes his belt off and starts whipping the crap out of Heyman. He hits a shotgun drop kick and then hits a code red for a close 2 count. As the clock strikes 10 p.m. on the East Coast, it looks like we're going long on advertising once again. Yep, as always. Darby heads back to the top rope and leads off back for an attempted third coffin drop. However, this time he couldn't hit it. Instead, he lands in the waiting arms of Heyman, who begins to choke the life out of him. Darby escapes and fights back. He goes for the buckshot lariat, but in mid-motion, Heyman takes him out with one of his own for a close 2 count. Heyman hits a big power bomb for another close 2 count. He hits Darby with 2 dead eyes in a row. We get a close shot of the sinister evil look in Heyman's eyes. The commentators also focus on it and explain that it's completely different look than we used to seeing from him. Heyman slowly positions himself for the buckshot lariat and waits Darby to get. When he does, Heyman flips over the ropes, but Darby collapses on his own. Heyman drags him into the middle of the ring and flips him back to his feet in an attempt to finish the buckshot lariat, but Darby avoids it and rolls up. Heyman surprises him with a 3 count. Darby gets the win and quickly exits the ring to recover. Meanwhile, Heyman goes ballistic on the referee. He grabs a chair from under the ring and several more, all of which he throws into the ring in a rage. Darby gets up to his knees and looks up at Heyman throwing a hissy fit. He flips him the double birds. That's how this week's show goes out there and stuff. So winner is Darby Allin. So yeah, that was kind of funny. But anyways, good show tonight and stuff, and yeah. So, man, MJF is such a dick, man, fucking asshole. But anyways, it was good, all that stuff. So sorry, I'm stressing too much in almost every video and stuff. So anyways, that was it for this video. Hope you like it or not. So Anyway, so like, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment and stuff. You guys don't leave a comment. I don't care what you guys do. Anyways, that was it, and I see you guys in the next video for Friday Night SmackDown and sorry, Rampage. All right, that was it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Layers.